Thanks, John. Hello, everybody. So my accent is Bavarian, so don't worry. I hope you will understand it. Good. It's a great pleasure being here. It's wonderful event. I've never been to such a first responder event before. I've seen smaller ones, but nowhere in the world a big one like that. Impressive, really great. So usually I ask in the beginning, why are you here? And I don't mean the good food, the nice venue and all this stuff. I really mean the cause, but I felt the passion already, so I can understand why you're here. My why was initiated on the day when this picture was taken. Actually, that's me. And you can see not so much has changed since then. I have new glasses. On the day, my brother and I, we performed CPR on our neighbor. And unfortunately, our neighbor died on the day. We were 18, this is 25 years ago, actually. But it wasn't the sad situation that initiated why I'm here today. It was the paramedic who came to us after they have stopped resuscitating our neighbor. He sat down to us, clapped us on our shoulders, and said, "Guys, don't worry, they die anyway." And people who know me, I'm not really good in accepting blunt statements. So I asked myself, what determines if someone survives? And in general, there are three groups of factors. First of all, it's the patient, so the age, the comorbidities, the event, where it happens. We heard already today that 60% of all cardiac arrests happen at home. In this part of the groups of factors, it's also the underlying rhythm, so is it a VF cardiac arrest or PEA asystole? And then we have the system, so we have us. Every one of you in this room is part of such a system. And in the middle, in the center, where all these perfect conditions come together, this is where survival happens. Unfortunately, we have almost no influence on these two first groups of factors. And if we have, it takes generations. So we can only focus on the system. So our target is to improve this intersection and to save more lives. This is what we are all here for. In the end, it's all about local implementation. The science globally is the same. Educational efficiency needs to be guaranteed, of course, but in the end, it's all about us in the systems. In a perfect world, this is how a chain of survival should look like. In the real world, it looks more like that. And this has a lot to do with culture, and we know that culture eats strategy for breakfast, operational performance for lunch, and everything else for dinner. So, when we are training, we shouldn't forget about the culture. That's very important. But how can we change these silos into a really strong chain? In the very beginning, we need to make a very fundamental decision. Either, if we want to take the blue pill, stay where we are, keep doing what we've been doing over years, and just leave it as it is. Or we take the red pill, move out of our comfort zone, and try to change ourselves and our systems. Sometimes it's important to move out of the comfort zone if you want to really be disruptive and want to improve your systems. You need a clear vision. Every one of you in the room should know what you're aiming for with your activities. For example, this is the future aspiration of the Global Resuscitation Alliance, 75% VF survival rate. And we have seen data today from Richard Lyon that it's possible. It's really possible. if everything goes well. No egos. It's not about you, it's about the patient. No politics. Egos and politics kill people. Look out for a lighthouse. There are people out there who have been there where you are. They have started, for example, already a first responder scheme. They have done that before. When you go to Scotland and you see which survival rate they achieve in Edinburgh with their national strategy, when you go to Canton Ticino in Switzerland, there are lighthouses where you can learn from and stop reinventing the wheel. This is only very expensive in the end. And then simply take what you've seen at these lighthouses, copy it, adapt it a little bit, and paste it to your system. It works. Believe me, you will see it after it. So we're not talking only about the chain of survival, we are also talking about the frame of survival. So we're talking about leadership, training, quality improvement, and in the end, a culture of excellence, where the whole system is dedicated to save more lives. These 10 programs here on the left side from your side, this is what we are doing in the Resuscitation Academy. These are all evidence-based programs. I don't go into detail now. And if you implement these programs correctly, step by step, one program per time, not every program at once, then you will see significant success rates. And on the right side here, you have the action. So in the end, it's a typical project plan, what is you're following through here. In 2014, we brought the European Resuscitation Academy, or the Resuscitation Academy to Europe. It's originally designed in Seattle. And we started, and in 2015, the Resuscitation Academy program already became a part of the European Resuscitation Council guidelines. So the red points is where we had them so far, and these are the points where we give talks or where we do little workshops. So what we want to do is we want to inspire change, and we want to acquire understanding. And from our perspective, this is the best thing to do is to go where you can experience best practice. So, but how does this resonate in numbers? So this is Canton Ticino in southern Switzerland, Italian speaking, good food. It's maybe not the best place to have a cardiac arrest yet, but it's definitely a nice place to die. So it's relatively small, but they have a pretty challenging topography. They have 6 agencies, calls, very impressive are their numbers of first responders. More than 1% of the populations are first responders. And they are alarmed by app or SMS. They have a clear vision. 50% of all VF patients survive. You can find this when you enter the dispatch center. There's a poster on the wall, and there you can see it. This is the poster here. So over the years, they already started with pretty good VF survival rates, but they were hovering around 36%, and suddenly it exploded. What happened? They went to Seattle and understood by seeing what they are doing there in Seattle, what they have done wrong in Canton Ticino or not optimal. And this is where they learned. And you can see it's impressive, this increase. And this year they have achieved the same survival rate again. We can also see, this resonates also in other numbers. So you can see that before the academy, this was, for example, the implementation of a cardiac arrest registry, and after that, they were at 88%. But the more important thing is how many survived after a system attended Resuscitation Academy. And you see this from Washington State. They started here with 32%, and in 2014 it was 43% already. So a very impressive increase in a relatively short time. But this all cannot be done without you, without the people in the dispatch center, without the physicians in the emergency room, the paramedics, etc., etc. Because what we should never forget when we talk about survival from cardiac arrest, it always takes a system to save a life. Thank you very much.